Garth Ennis' The Boys is a dark retelling of the superhero trope, dealing with the intricate struggle between doing what's right and doing what serves the hero's own selfish interests. In the fight between staying relevant as a godlike entity in the world and the corporations wanting to market them and their powers like they're a new product, there's only one superhero who remains the most enigmatic and neutral. Black Noir, the perfect mix of Batman, Deadpool, and Snake Eyes, is a deadly assassin. There's no doubt that he's someone who should be feared, especially given how he played the role of the main antagonist in the third season of The Boys. He's definitely someone who seemed formidable and needed to be taken down. But is it even possible to put a stop to this soup? We'll find out in this video, where we explore Black Noir's anatomy. Before we get into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Black Noir? The different backstories. When a comic book gets adapted into a TV show, it's a given that there will be some changes made in the backstory of certain characters. Black Noir is a character just like that. The series manages to completely spin the tale of our man from the original plotlines of the comic book. In the TV show, we learn that Irving, the man who donned the identity of Black Noir, was born somewhere between the late 50s and early 60s. We don't really know much about his childhood, as he never really talked about it. But from what we've seen in the show, it's clear that he's quite attached to the cartoon Buster Beaver and his friends. These animated characters bring comfort to Black Noir whenever he's in a tough spot, whether it's getting an unwanted erection in his early days, the struggles of puberty, or when he accidentally paralyzed someone at the young age of 9. One thing we know for a fact is that Black Noir was trained by a master since childhood, who turned him into the skilled martial artist that we know. When Irving's skills were good enough, he was given an opportunity to join the then popular superhero team known as Payback. Here, he started his career as Black Noir, and while he was happy to join the superhero team, there were things that came with such a prestigious position that did not sit right with him. While this was a superhero team, Vought American's goal was to ensure that all the heroes were marketable. As Irving was African American, Vought American refused to let him show his face, claiming that it would be bad for the team. But Irving didn't want to stay hidden. He had a lot to give to the world, and he tried to break free from his Black Noir identity. He thought that if he could land the role in Beverly Hills Cop, and people loved him on screen, he wouldn't have to hide his face forever. However, Soulja Boy, the leader of Payback, interfered with his audition, and Irving lost the role to Eddie Murphy. When Irving tried to talk to Soulja Boy about it, Soulja Boy beat him into a bloody pulp. The leader made it very clear that there was only one star in the team, and it was Soulja Boy himself. If anyone else even dared to outshine him, he wouldn't hesitate to utterly maul them. Obviously, Soulja Boy didn't know much about maintaining interpersonal relationships with his teammates, and this would eventually end up becoming the main reason for his downfall. See, when Soulja Boy beat Black Noir up, all the members of Payback were there. It was evident that just as Soulja Boy sabotaged Black Noir's big break, he had done the same for others as well. If he hadn't, he definitely would in the future. This led to a lot of resentment blossoming in the hearts of the other team members, and when they were given a chance to take down Soulja Boy back in 1984, they all jumped at the chance. In 1984, all the heroes were in Nicaragua to assist Contra fighters. In the midst of that, Stan Edgar pulled Black Noir aside and asked him to betray Soulja Boy. He told Black Noir that the new replacement for Soulja Boy was in the making, and the old face of Vought American needed to go. As most of the team members were done with Soulja Boy's abuse towards them, they were willing to get in on the plan. When the plan was set in action, all the members of Payback cornered Soulja Boy and ganged up on him. But Soulja Boy is not someone who would go down that easily. Right before Mindstorm and Crimson Countess managed to subdue him, Soulja Boy had already damaged Black Noir irreparably. He burned off Black Noir's face in the hood of a flaming Jeep, and to seal the deal, he'd struck Black Noir repeatedly with his shield on top of the head. The damage was severe, and a part of Black Noir's brain was removed during this attack. While Payback was able to pay Soulja Boy back for his abuse and mistreatment by locking him up for good, they were eventually replaced by Vought American. The Seven was established, and Black Noir was made the face of the Seven until Homelander was ready. Black Noir remained a part of the Seven, partly because of his experience as a seasoned superhero, and partly because he covered for Homelander, ensuring he got sympathy votes from the public, helping him secure his place at Vought. That's why we see Homelander consider Black Noir as his only trusted companion at one point. While this is the backstory we get for Black Noir in the TV show, his comic book counterpart is much worse. Honestly, the comic book Black Noir is straight up psychotic. In the comic books, Black Noir is not any of whatever we mentioned just now. Here, Black Noir is a direct clone of Homelander. I feel like him being a clone of Homelander is reason enough for him to be classified as a psychotic killer, but let me tell you how horrific he can truly be. So, he was made to ensure Homelander never went out of bounds. If Homelander ever strayed from his path dictated by Vought, Black Noir was supposed to kill him off. Now, we all know Homelander. That man is desperate to be accepted and loved. So years passed by, and Homelander never stepped out of bounds. He remain the golden boy of Vought, and Black Noir was unable to fill the one mission that he was made for. When you're dealt a bad hand, sometimes it's better to simply change the deck, and that's precisely what Black Noir set out to do. He started orchestrating various crimes, posing as Homelander, to ensure the hero's general disposition of being a good person was wiped clean. In order to turn Homelander into a brutal villain, Black Noir committed quite a few horrific crimes. He had killed people, raped people, and even at one point cannibalized babies. And on top of that, he snapped pictures of all of these events and spread them around. When Homelander saw those pictures, he was driven insane, because the person in the picture was himself, but he didn't remember doing any of these things, ever. This was the breaking point of Homelander's mind, and he became this sociopathic villain desperate to overthrow the United States government. Eventually, at the White House, Black Noir revealed himself to be the mastermind behind everything. This is where we realize that Black Noir raped Billy Butcher's wife and posed as Homelander to send Billy after him. Seeing the man who had ruined his hard-earned reputation right in front of him, Homelander was ready to throw hands, and oh boy, the fight was brutal. Homelander and Black Noir fought, and eventually Black Noir managed to fulfill his one purpose, which was to kill Homelander. While he was rejoicing, the military intervened. Black Noir was completely haggard, with parts of his skull missing and violent burns all over his body. But the killing blow was dealt by none other than Butcher. Billy struck him over the head with a crowbar and broke his head open, killing Black Noir for good. While Black Noir's story from the comics is much more unhinged than his TV show counterpart, there's no denying that he's a compelling character both ways. Now that we know a bit about his backstory, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of his physiology. Why does he wear a mask? Why is his brain damaged? From season 1 of The Boys, Black Noir was the only character who was not explored, which made his character extremely interesting. Finally, in season 3, we get to see his backstory and learn more about him. In this season, we learn that he's Irving, the African-American boy who desperately wants to make a cultural impact. While Vought American did not want him to remove his mask for the sake of marketing, Black Noir felt like the mask was preventing him from reaching out to his fans. He wanted to take off his mask and give hope to the minority communities present in the country. Not only would he gain fame that way, but he would also become recognizable without the mask, which was something he desperately wanted. When he told Stan Edgar about it while planning on taking down Soldier Boy, Stan told him that the mask was not there just to hide his race. It was there for protection against any type of threat that might come his way. But when people are young, they are gullible, and Black Noir was no different. He did not want to wear the mask, and now that Soldier Boy was going down, he would get the chance to be in the spotlight for good. So when he was on his way to ambush Soldier Boy, he took off the mask. That resulted in him being horribly disfigured with severe brain damage, which robbed him of his ability to speak. Since that incident, Black Noir never took off his mask again. Now, we don't know if it's because the mask was holding his skull together in place, hiding his disfigured face, or if he simply refused to take it off because he's extremely scared. Either way, the mask has become an inseparable part of Black Noir, whose importance is reaffirmed to him every time he survives another deadly attack. Can he speak? No matter which version of Black Noir you think of, he's simply not a chatty guy. The reasons, however, are a bit different for on-screen Black Noir and comic book Black Noir. In the TV show, we see that Black Noir is unable to make noises and cry when, in season 2, it became public news that soups are made, not born. So everyone assumed that perhaps he doesn't speak because of the whole ninja aesthetic he's going for. But then, in season 3, we learn about his severe brain damage, and in the animation, it's shown that part of his brain popped out during the beating. So it could be that this is what made it impossible for him to speak. Also, he could just not be speaking anymore because of severe trauma. But I'm personally leaning more towards the brain damage reason. As for the comic book counterpart, things were not so simple. As I mentioned, Black Noir was a clone of Homelander, created and placed in the Seven to keep Homelander in line. But of course, they were not going to make it known that Homelander was kept under watch. So to conceal his identity altogether, Black Noir was asked not to speak at all. Keeping his voice and his thoughts to himself and his communications limited were conscious choices that Black Noir had to make to ensure he could fulfill his mission. But years of not talking and hiding oneself can be mentally painful. And that's what drove him insane, to the point that he decided to take a diabolical path to fulfill his purpose. Is he mentally unstable? After seeing Black Noir with his friends from Buster Beaver, it's only natural to wonder if our deadly killer has some undiagnosed mental issues. Well, when it comes to the TV show version of Black Noir, it's definitely not a mental illness per se. One could say that given the traumatic brain injury he sustained, Black Noir's mind functions with nostalgic and comforting imaginary friends to cope with whatever trauma he's going through. They're his voice of reason and comfort, as technically, they're the only ones who know him through and through. Now, it could be that when he went through that traumatic event, his mind somehow reset recessed back to that of a child. But given how he fights with ease and makes tactical decisions without skipping a beat, I would say that his imaginary friends are just his way of coping with the environment and horrible events happening around him. When it comes to the comic book version of Black Noir, he's definitely mentally unstable, as he was made to fulfill his one purpose and never really got proper training to control his powers like the others did. This Black Noir is much more prone to lash out in destructive ways whenever he's cornered. Not only that, but Black Noir is obsessed with killing Homelander to fulfill his purpose. So when things didn't go his way, naturally he went down the self-destructive, diabolical, and perverse route of killing and eating babies, which shows just how unstable he truly is. Does he have Inbuilt Painkiller in his blood? We've seen Black Noir do some crazy things throughout the series. He's taken bullets to the chest, gone through explosions, and gotten into some crazy fights, and yet he never reacts to them. This could be because of one of two reasons. Either Black Noir simply doesn't feel pain, or two, he has a higher pain tolerance than most of the supes. He didn't even react when he had severe burns on his chest and head due to Nakib using his self-detonation, or when he walked into the elevator and sliced out the tracking chip in his wrist. While this lack of reaction is a topic of wonder, it also makes him an extremely fearsome antagonist to go up against. I mean, even Homelander was seen taken aback a few times. But Black Noir, man, is just stoic, and that is bone-chilling. Can he see behind the walls? If I had to explain Black Noir in two words, they would be silent and deadly, because he truly embodies both of them. The way he moves is extremely uncanny, because he sneaks up on people at a moment's notice. Now, seeing that in action might make you wonder if he has some superpowered vision that allows him to see through walls, right? Well, you ain't alone. Turns out he does have an ability that allows him to move this way, but it's not the one that we're thinking it is. He actually has super hearing, which allows him to hear even the faintest sounds. This is what helps him move the way he does. He just knows where people are from the minuscule sounds they could be making while they're tiptoeing around. He tracked Butcher to Becca's house this way, and when Terror barked, he figured that it was where the boys were hiding. Is he the fastest in the 7? While he may not be great at outrunning A-Train, that doesn't mean Black Noir isn't fast. He's one of the most durable superheroes in this universe. He can easily outrun a car if he feels there's any need to. Despite how bulky his suit may look, Black Noir is able to move extremely fast in that suit when the time calls for it. His reflexes and agility match his durability, making him a formidable force to go up against. When he faced off against Kimiko and Frenchie, Black Noir was easily able to dodge their attacks with his extraordinary agility. Like most martial artists, he's very light on his feet, and his flexibility is an added bonus. I mean, let's be real. Who could forget that iconic scene where Black Noir killed a lady with his dagger in a split second and managed to grab the glass she was holding before it even hit the ground? He truly fits all the bills of a deadly ninja assassin. Does he have a healing ability? Black Noir is extremely stoic when he's in the midst of an attack. While most people in this situation, supe or not, would react some way or other, Black Noir simply presses forward. While it's partly because he does not feel pain as much, another huge reason behind it is his healing factor. Black Noir's healing factor is regenerative in nature and works over time whenever Black Noir is in trouble. His body gets rid of the dead tissue at a much faster rate than ours does, and that's why, no matter the kind of injury, Black Noir is healed and ready to go in a matter of days, if not hours. But despite that, his healing ability is not boundless. There are some limitations to it. His healing ability was not able to fix his face or regrow the part of the brain that was removed when Soldier Boy cracked his skull open. We got a glimpse of his scarred face when Queen Maeve came to the rescue of Starlight and fed Black Noir an almond joy. Later, when Homelander punched through Black Noir's stomach, Black Noir's healing factor was not able to restore the damage done to his organs. Weakness is tree nut. Is Black Noir a nut for nuts? Since the first season of The Boys, it's made very clear that out of the 7, Black Noir is the one who's unstoppable. Anyone who stands in his path would be bludgeoned and wrecked to death. He has taken down the super terrorist, and he took out Mother's Milk, Butcher, and Huey without any trouble. So surely, such an unstoppable character would have some serious weakness, right? In comes the Butcher, baker, candlestick maker of Season 2. where we learn his biggest weakness, tree nuts. When Starlight finally managed to break free from her cell, she was quickly taken down by Black Noir with his hands around her throat. The fight was futile. Starlight knew she would never be able to overpower Black Noir, and right when everyone thought that she would die at his hands, a savior showed up. It was Queen Maeve, and with her she brought the weapon that would destroy Black Noir in an instant. And that weapon was an almond joy? Honestly, all of us felt the same shock that Annie felt when she saw Queen Maeve stuff almond joy down Black Noir's throat, because, come on, an almond joy? But that is when we learn that Black Noir is extremely allergic to tree nuts, and if he's not given his epinephrine shot on time, he could even die. So it was a rather ice-cold scene when Maeve kicked away the EpiPen right out of Black Noir's reach, while she took Starlight with her to leave the Seven Tower. Nut allergies inherently are one of the most common allergies found all over the world. Seeing a deadly assassin on his knees over nuts is not really something we'd expected, but hey, now you know. If you want to get rid of the most dangerous superhero ever, you can simply cover yourself with nutty treats and hope for the best. Black Noir is a lethal assassin. It's extremely difficult to beat Black Noir in hand-to-hand combat, and for valid reasons, because this guy is highly trained in several forms of martial arts. He was shown stealthily taking out several terrorists at one point, and when he got into a brawl with Kimiko, he was able to take her down swiftly. Even in his fight with Starlight, he made it very clear that he had the upper hand in the fight until Maeve showed up with his arch-nemesis, the fabled Almond Joy. His skills were honed by the training he went through with his master, and that's why he's treated as Vought's very own assassin. Whenever there's someone Vought needs dead, Vought usually sends Black Noir after them. On top of being exceptional at martial arts, Black Noir is rather well versed with knives. One of the best examples of his mastery would be when he faces off against Homelander. Black Noir's reflexes were enough for him to dodge Homelander's heat vision, but seeing him throw knives to intercept the heat vision was just icing on the cake. Super Soldier or Super Myth, unveiling the limits of Black Noir's brutality. Although he may not use it often, Black Noir has superhuman strength, which he can boast about. On his first ever mission with Homelander, where the latter freaked out and killed a bunch of hostages and terrorists, Black Noir killed off the last witness to ensure Homelander would get sympathy from the crowd. He killed her off by snapping her neck like it was a celery stick. While this hints at his power, we get a better and more brutal experience of it when we see Black Noir fighting with Kimiko and Butcher. Kimiko is no weak opponent. She was able to give A-Train a compound fracture with just one blow, and she was able to break Huey's hand with ease. But when it comes to Black Noir, Kimiko didn't stand a chance. Black Noir met her hit for hit, and in the end, triumphed over her super strength with his. He even disemboweled Kimiko, which slowed the boys down quite a bit. When he faced off against Butcher, Black Noir was able to throw him several feet back with just a single swipe. He lifted Butcher, a fully grown man, against the wall with just one hand around his throat, which goes to show just how strong he is. Black Noir proved himself a scary opponent when he went after Naquib. Forget about his iconic survival of Naquib's explosion, point blank. Let's talk about the number of people he killed stealthily while he made his way to Naquib. Not only that, Black Noir ripped up a guy's face by prying open his jaw. Such brutality is worthy of being feared.
You know what? That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna let you or anyone else take my future away from me.
Is he more powerful than Homelander? We all know that the Seven of Vought is a stand-in dark parody of the Justice League of DC, right? While Homelander is a copy of the Man of Steel, Black Noir is definitely a copy of Batman, minus the Batcave and Batmobile. When we look at all the members of the Seven, it becomes very clear that literally no one from the Seven can defeat Homelander. Even Queen Maeve, who's supposed to be like Wonder Woman, who in the DC universe has given Superman a run for his money, fails here against Homelander. So imagine everyone's surprise when it's revealed which soup was stronger than Homelander, and it turned out to be none other than Black Noir. Black Noir is a clone of Homelander, so you would think they'd be equal, right? Well, there's a bit of information I kept from you until now. You see, when Vought created Homelander by injecting Compound V into an embryo, they figured that this soup would be quite strong. Knowing that this soup straying and standing against them would be a death sentence for everyone, they decided to create a kill switch. So they went back to the same DNA and created another embryo, but this embryo was made stronger than Homelander. Not by a lot, but just enough to seal the deal. So yes, Black Noir was made more powerful from the get-go. He was planted in the Seven as the kill switch for Homelander, and when the latter kept behaving, preventing Black Noir from carrying out his goal, Black Noir decided to do heinous activities and frame Homelander for them. Finally, when Black Noir revealed himself, he and Homelander got into a huge fight, and finally, only one of them remained standing. We all expected it to be Homelander, but the one towering above the fallen was Black Noir, or rather, whatever was left of him. The fight had him disemboweled, burnt, and his limbs were quite blown to bits. The military intervening and shooting him with tanks and bullets did not help. In the end, Butcher cracked his head open and brought an end to his time on Earth. One of the twins was a pampered bully, and the other was a feral maniac, desperate to kill the other. They both made compelling and spine-chilling villains, and it was extremely satisfying seeing neither of them walk away from the battle. Who can beat him? Well, the one thing that can stop Black Noir in his tracks, other than tree nuts, is blunt force. When we see Black Noir fight in the comics or the show, the only time he's defeated is when he faces off against someone who's significantly stronger than him. While there are many superheroes who boast super strength in this universe, very few supes are at the level that would allow them to overpower Black Noir. Queen Maeve was only able to subdue him that time because she managed to catch him by surprise. I say this because we've seen Homelander quite easily defeat Queen Maeve in a fight, and even Homelander couldn't beat Black Noir when they fought in their first mission. At that time, Black Noir was not even attacking Homelander, he was simply defending himself, and still, Homelander could not gain the upper hand. The only superhero who was ever seen to defeat Black Noir with ease was Soldier Boy. This is why, despite his allegiance with Homelander, Black Noir decided to run away instead of going with Homelander to meet his ex-leader, who had easily overpowered him before. How old is Black Noir? Season 3 of The Boys can very well be renamed the Black Noir season because we get to learn so much about him. This supe, who's covered from head to toe in his body armor, has been an active superhero since the 80s, and the actor who plays him, Fritzy Clevens Destine, seemed to be in his 20s, so one could assume that he was born somewhere between the 50s and the 60s. But it's not quite as simple as that. When the news of supes being made and not born was made public, Black Noir was severely affected by it, which kind of confirmed that he too was a product of pharmacy. Now, Frederick Vaught started his experimentation with Compound V somewhere during World War II, so it could very well be that he was given the dose in the 1940s, which means he was born in the 1920s or even before that. This would explain his youthful appearance, as Compound V can stop a supe from aging owing to the regenerative healing factor. Aging inherently is related to how our body heals ourselves. Given Black Noir has regenerative healing, he would definitely live longer than the average person, and his body would not show signs of decay that comes with age. Based on everything we know, we can assume that Black Noir was born roughly 50 years before the events that we're following currently.
But let's be honest, it's not really a competition, is it?
Marvelous verdict. Black Noir might have a dumb-sounding name, but the way his character plays out is far from that. Black Noir is a silent, deadly killer with an enigmatic personality, which makes him such an enjoyable antagonist to follow in the comics. With the 4th season of The Boys around the corner, it would be great to see what the TV version of Black Noir does when he's eventually forced to face off against Soldier Boy. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.